And we're back yet again with another edition of Decepticons Unleashed Celebrity Inversions FtM. So let's get into it. This video will be for entertainment purposes only. This is my opinion. Please do not mess with my video. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to like, share, and follow. So we're back by demand. Let's get into it. Very interesting. I noticed in doing the Chris Brown breakdown, sorry to break it to you ladies. I always knew it was something was off. Something was off. Well, anyway, he loves to do this sign. Some people like to clown me. This is the peace sign. This is the peace sign. I know it's the peace sign for regular folks. That's what we agree it is. But I'm telling y'all, these celebrities, they have their own signs and symbols. Go watch my hand signs and handshakes video. Go watch my hand signs video where I show you all the different hand signs that they do. That video's gotten over like 5,000 views. So go check it out. It's, what a coincidence. They all do the same signs. But anyway, as you can see, male, female, or female to male in this case. And he is a very hard one to clock, and he's very tatted. A lot of the FTMs end up being very tatted, especially around the chest area, but I digress. But he is very convincing because for the longest, I did not even clock him. But a lot of his tattoos are very telling. Here we see the skull. Okay, so here we can see the shoulders are about the same width as the waist. Normally for men, the shoulders are wider than the waist. For Chris Brown, it's about the same. It's about the same, y'all. Also, he got some thick ass ankles too. Normally men's ankles be thinner. I don't know. And also, like I said, he's covered up his clavicles to disguise him so you can't really see what's going on. And even his neck so you can't really see what's going on to distract you. Also, look at his little head, that little skull. For men or for women, you can fit 3 skulls, 1, 2, 3. For men, you can't fit 3 skulls on their shoulders. I guess 2 on their shoulders and the 1, so 3. So you could actually see it more when he was younger. If you pay attention, he has that egg-shaped face like a female. And once again, he loves to throw up this sign, female, male. Sorry to tell you. A lot of them distract you because they're always smiling. But look, the boy barely has a brow ridge. Most men, especially black men, have brow ridges. So, and very soft face. Very soft face. And small ears also. I thought he had bigger ears than that. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Usher. Here he is again, throwing up female to male. And if you just really look at his face, you can see it. For some of these, you can either see it or you can't. Like I said, for the men, it's a little harder to clock. I don't know if he's looking a little sweet in this picture or if that's the female within trying to peek out and say hello. I'm not really sure. Here he is throwing up the sign again. And take note of the oval face once again. And he always seems to have the sloping shoulders as well. And if you take a look at his tattoos, we saw the skull. He has, the eagle, very occultic type tattoos. If you know, you know. So moving on, here we have Chet Hanks. He is Tom Hanks' son. Tom Hanks looks very suspicious himself. He has that oval-shaped head, as you can see there, and no neck as well. But Chet Hanks has always looked suspicious to me. So, look, this guy gets it. He knows what time it is. Female to male. And he's another one who has a lot of the tattoos. And once again, he has that oval head. Okay, so here we get a better look. Once again, his shoulders are about the same length as his waist. And also, arms aren't that long, and he's covering up his chest with all these tattoos, and he has the triangle right in the center of his chest. He doesn't give a fuck. I think he was the guy who was trolling. He said a lot of crazy stuff. I'm not even gonna get into it, but he has just always looked very suspicious to me. And it does look kind of weird around his chest if you pay attention. This must be before he got them, tattoos on his chest. But he's always looked suspicious. And take note of his neck. No Adam's apple. So here he is doing a hand sign that you may have seen in my hand sign video. But I digress. And we can see his small skull here as well, with the sloping shoulders. So here he is with someone who's had a lot of work done herself. but we're gonna focus on him for this video. We can see the small arms, and look at his knees, look at his legs, very feminine looking legs to me. And no, he does have an Adonis belt, but you know, women can get those, so. Now let's take a look at some open FTMs. So here is the F, here is the M. Looks a little familiar to me. Here is the F, here is the M. She looks like someone who played on Seinfeld. I also never watched that show. And I think, you know, if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. But there is an actress who kind of looks like her. But anyway, if you take a look at this F and the M. So just take a look at like the ab area and the structure. You know what I mean? Looks like a lot of Hollywood people to me. And here's another one. And now, I'm not sure if this is just working out or some performance enhancing stuff, but like I said, you know, some of them can look very deceptive. So as always, I have to give a disclaimer. You know, there are some differences in the male and female skeleton structure. You know, I don't have any problem with anyone's body types or anyone's gender identity, but I do have a problem with deception, you know, if you're a woman, because a lot of people get in the comments like, I have an Adonis belt, but I had a kid, or I got wide shoulders, but I had 3 babies. It's like, I'm not talking to you, you know, and the same goes for men. I got my mama's hips. Okay, congratulations. Like, you know what I mean? But I digress. You know, as we can see, you know, the male skull is larger. You know, the female thorax is narrower. You know, the female pelvis is wider. You know, the male's arms is longer. So there are some differences. Next up is Leonardo DiCaprio. Look at that neck, no Adam's apple. So here he is when he was younger. So he's either giving a little sweet here, or is it more going on? You know, I'm willing to bet it's more going on. So here he is, look at that chest area. You know, we just seen a chest like that. And his shoulders don't look very wide at all. Now he does have a large head though. But look at how curvy he is here. And you know, when they have an indent above the belly button, you know, that's a female marker. And look at his clavicle, it's like it's going in like a V. But here is the money shot. Look at his walk. He's walking inward like a woman. And it was even a meme for how he walks. Okay, next up is Kevin Gates. Now, how the hell y'all ain't picked up on this yet? Look at this. This is a whole stud. Allegedly. Like, are you serious? This is a whole stud. No brow ridge. Look at that neck. Well, no neck really, but child, like, are we even serious? Like, is this Young Ma or is this Kevin Gates? I'm really confused. He always either looks sweet or like a stud. I'm sorry. And I can say that. But look, he be trying to keep that chest disguised. That belly button looks off. And look at all these tattoos to cover up what's going on. And look, arms not long at all. And like, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you notice the arms, if you look at enough people, y'all, do y'all see what I'm saying about the arms? It's like, it'd be like a slight difference. It's not a big difference, but a slight difference. The celebrities, they all be looking the same. But look, face just as soft as he wanna be. He tries to look tough with all the tattoos and the facial hair and all that. But if you take all that away, he's not threatening at all, like a female. Like, are you serious? Next up is James Brown. And you can definitely see it in the face, just like Tina Turner. Like, to me, it's in the face. No brow ridge. Just look at him, you know, something's off. And, you know, the shoulders is padded right there. Here he is again. Just a very little man. To me, it's looking like an old lady here. This picture gives a lot away. Maybe a little too much. So we're gonna end off with Jonathan Majors. Now, I feel like he's very muscular, so it's very hard to see, but look at that skull. It's egg-shaped. Look at those shoulders, slanted. Look at him here. He's in his natural element. But his walk is what gives it away. Every time they walk inward like a female. So please do not let the performance-enhancing stuff fool you. You know, some of these celebrities, plastic surgery, even the males, also the performance enhancing stuff, if you catch my drift. A lot of people would never know, but no brow ridge. Look at that small skull, little ears. He looks good though, can't lie. Everything but the face. But this video was my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to like, share, and follow because you never want to miss anything.